mission, on mission, trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Trying to mission, I'm on a mission, on a mission. I'm trying to get it right, changing the way that I see life, transition in my life. On a mission, on a mission, on a mission.
Welcome to Alchemizing Energy. Listen, so today I don't have a guest, but I just wanted to address something that was really bothering me. I've been watching TikTok lately and following a brother named Adonis Crash Boom, and he really is leading the charge in the YouTube streets, really discussing this whole thing about this South Africa versus America thing. And it really is getting on my nerves, right? Because when you hear how these people do not even take the time out to do any research, it's really driving me insane. Because do you even did you even just Google it? Just Google it, bro. So let me just let y'all know what's happening. So there's this Zulu parade, okay, that people are doing based on Mardi Gras, okay? And this parade has existed, the black side of it, because Mardi Gras has existed for hundreds of years. And then you have the Louisiana versions of Mardi Gras. And then you have the Zulu parade, right? Which came out of Mardi Gras because the black people were unallowed, they were not allowed to actually march, down Canal Street. So what they did was they created their own parade. You know how we do. When we can't do something, we'll create our own version of it, and it'd be way flyer than what's even going on during the actual parade, right? So now what happened is that they called it Zulu, and it was based on the Zulu warrior, the warrior spirit of the Zulu tribe, right? People during the regular Mardi Gras parade dressed in blackface, okay? So when you go to the regular the Caucasian Mardi Gras, they'd be dressed in blackface, right? But the Zulu, so in Mardi Gras, the actual thing is you have to wear a mask, okay? That's one of the requirements, is you cannot show who you are. They have a mask on, for Mardi Gras. You're not supposed to reveal your identity. So the people that were doing Mardi Gras in Louisiana couldn't afford the masks. So what they did was they painted their faces black with some white, white and black, right? So 100 years later, okay, the internet pops up and Zulu people from South Africa are just getting wind of this, and they have gone ape shit over it, right? And when you actually hear their responses when they're talking to this young guy, his name is Adonis Crash Boom. Shouts out to him for giving me permission to play his videos. The stupidity is so ridiculous. It's dude, it's a website. There's a whole website for the Zulu thing for Louisiana. And I'm not Louisianian. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Creole. I'm not from Louisiana, so I don't know what the Zulu tribe or Zulu group is, whatever. But what I will say is that I have respect because I did go to the Louisiana event here in Texas where they actually had the Zulu king come when they came to Texas because the Zulu thing is not just a matter of a parade. They do things for the community. They help out people that are like struggling. During Katrina, they did like a lot of like work for people. But the people in South Africa, they don't give a fuck about that. They're like, no, you using the Zulu name. Why are you wearing this? Why are you wearing that? I'm like, well, bro, this is not about the actual Zulu tribe with Shaka Zulu. They use the name of Zulu to give reverence, just like the what was it, the nation, the Zulu nation, right? I'm seeing all this stuff about this whole Zulu parade, but I'm not seeing them like going in on the Zulu nation, right? But what they're doing is like they're, oh well, that's not a representation of Zulu, right? And then when you hear them talking, it's like their minds are just so stuck on it's just ridiculous. So at some point, this girl gets on there and she starts dancing and prancing around, picking cotton, playing "They Not Like Us." It got real shady on TikTok. It got really crazy. And so Adonis has been doing the work trying to create some awareness with these South Africans. And I did do a show earlier with Brother Tahuti, Natural Tahuti, and I was telling him about this whole FBA movement, and I was talking about the whole thing that was going on, and he had no, it was breaking his heart. He's in prison right now, and he was like, man, so it's almost like the whole like Pan African movement is like looked down upon, and I can even see even with Brother Adonis, he'll be like, there's the Pan Africanists, and then there's like the actual, the FBAs, right? So there's like a separation between Pan Africanism and the whole foundationally black community, right? Hey, what's up? Hey. I'm gonna drop the link because we're about to go into this whole thing. Are you aware of this Zulu this whole argument going on with this whole Zulu parade? It's sad because the South Africans are just so stuck on you're using Zulu, right? But they have they're not even willing to understand that this is like a 100-year-old tradition, and just because you saw a little snippet of it online does not mean, and it's almost like a level of like, who do you think you are? You think that because you don't like it, that people in America should just stop what they're doing, stop the press. So let's get into this. I'm gonna like play this so you can hear some of the sentiments that are going on about this parade. It's really crazy. Let's go.
Yo,
Yo, I'm gonna send you an invite to change camera.
all right. What's up, dog?
What you call me?
I call you dog. I said, what's up? Call you dog. Yeah. Is that rude? Is that rude?
You call me donkey?
No, I said dog. As in homie.
Yo, what's the TV? Why the TV so loud?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. So what's your question? Where you from?
I'm from South Africa, I told you.
Oh yeah, how old are you?
I'm still young, don't worry. I'm still young.
How old are you? How you put on an old ass African dialect, right? So young, I am so young.
But I'm 25, dog.
You 25?
Yeah.
All right. What's your question?
Yo, so I've been watching your videos, right? You're talking to all the South Africans and stuff. So I want to know something from you, right? Let's say about a year ago, how did you feel about South Africans? What did you think about South Africans about a year ago?
A year ago, I thought when I thought about South Africa, I only thought about Nelson Mandela.
So like, you had no ideas or perspectives about like the normal South Africans.
Nelson Mandela was the face and voice for South Africa on a global scale, and he was one of the pioneers for melanated people on a global scale. So he's in the same category as Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Marcus Garvey. All of these people are in the same category. So yeah.
Right. And then what do you think about South Africans now?
Now,
Yeah.
you want to know the truth?
Yeah. Because I think I already have an idea, but I just want to hear it from
No,
you.
tell me.
Nah,
No. I want to know.
That was my question. That was my question.
I'll be honest though. Just tell me. I'm curious what you
Yeah.
think. I don't want to taint your perspective. That's why I don't want to. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna keep it real.
Okay, in simple terms, like it's nothing positive, basically. So I'm not gonna say anything else, but I know it's nothing positive. But I just want to hear it from you, like how you can explain it. Like, what do you think about South Africans now?
Oh, I think
What
that.
do you think about South Africans now, bro? After all this bullshit,
I think
what
that
they've been doing.
when I think about South Africans or South Africa in general right now, I think about AIDS and HIV.
Okay.
Wow.
That's all I think about. Like every single time I see one of you guys or chat with one of you guys, now a thought in my head is this one of the people that are infected with HIV and AIDS?
So you know what? I think that at this point, you know, people are just getting so they're hitting below the belt because you know this is so it's gotten so toxic with this whole argument about this parade that even everybody's just hitting below the belt. I mean, you know, to even say that, okay, well, you know, hey, I'm thinking about HIV and AIDS, and you know, it is like one of the largest like HIV and AIDS rates in in the world is in South Africa. But the fact that he kind of did that, kind of like to like just jab him, but there's a reason why this is happening. Let me show you why. Okay, I don't want you guys to think this is happening for no reason, right? So let me just dial it back. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let me show you this. This is the bullshit that South Africans are doing.
And I'm a businesswoman. I got 4 businesses. I sell lashes, I sell wig, I sell nails, and I'm an exotic dancer. Told my baby daddy in jail.
Turn to your neighbor and say, these BBLs scary, y'all. BBLs scary.
All this is happening because of Zulu parade in Louisiana. So these people are like going in on Black Americans because of the fact. So this is the actual, I guess, real Zulu parade in South Africa, and they're saying that the one that's happening in Louisiana that they're disrespecting. But they just use the name Zulu. It's a Mardi Gras parade. It's not really a Zulu parade. That's the part that people are missing. No one has just actually just said, listen, this is not a Zulu parade. It's a Mardi Gras parade. The group that are doing the parade is called Zulu. Okay? And people are bent out of shape because they use the name Zulu, and then the people that are so proud to be Zulu feel so bent out of shape because you use the name Zulu. But then there's all kind of people that's doing the Greek. I don't see any Greek people coming out saying, I don't appreciate y'all like doing steps and stuff like that and mega sci-fi and everything. I'm waiting for the Greek people to come out and get mad about that. I mean, this is just going to open the door for all the people to get mad about how we appropriate different things when we get like left out of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? We got left out of like the Greek fraternities. We created our own thing, started doing step dancing. Next thing you know, the Greeks from over there in Rome or Greece, they're going to come out. That ain't hard. That ain't our real culture. And this is what and now then they gonna get mad at us. I mean, everybody wants to be mad at the Black. We can't fight everybody. God dang it, we can't fight everybody, including our own people from the motherland, right? What's up, Zion? You there?
What's happening, lady? Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, man. These
crazy.
These South Africans are going insane.
But this is, it is the same thing that they've done even in the continent. They divide even against themselves. Not the Africans necessarily. I believe that there is a program going on to divide, African Americans against African Americans and Africans against Africans. And you know, during like the 1960s, 1970s, this is one of the time when my father came up in the Ife and Yoruba culture. Pan-Africanism was huge, even amongst Israelites, even amongst people who were Christian. You know what I'm saying? You had Abyssinian Baptists and all of these other black folks who were you know, basically unified in the cause, you know, the struggles of black people internationally, worldwide, in the diaspora and at home. And so what I'm seeing now is a huge division going on. You have African Americans talking this FBA thing. Remember, we had spoke about that, the whole FBA, you know what I'm saying, issue, and right now, even with the Burkina Faso situation, look who they put as the face in America to try to destabilize Burkina Faso's efforts to gain sovereignty and control and nationalize their own national resources. They put a black face there, and so you know we got to be careful. You know, African people have been divided against themselves for years. The French are using their own people within the country, within those countries, to try to you know basically fight against their own best interest. And they've done that to us for years. I know everybody says, you know, and it's true. The book, the Willie Lynch, the papers or whatever, that book was, it's false. But if you read what's inside of it, they say the same thing about the book. What is it? The Protocols of Zion, the Jewish book. They said was written by some fake white neo-Nazi. To try to defame, you know, Zionist Jews, but you see the truth of the matter inside the book. There's facts in there, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I see this whole as a divide, especially right now as Africa is starting to nationalize and regain its sovereignty against colonial or neo-colonialism. You know what I'm saying? African Americans have been going there predominantly, you know what I'm saying? Even like our large rappers and stuff. What was the rapper's name? The African brother, I forget I think he was Nigerian.
Akon?
Yeah, Akon. He was talking to us just years ago about coming back and investing in the land and investing and rejoining the population. And now all of a sudden we're seeing this huge divide coming up again. Why?
I don't know.
We're talking about this for a long time. We're talking about doing this for a long time, and now that Africa is starting to, and we see the support, right?
Start to become independent.
Yes.
Now the African Americans are separating from Africa.
That's crazy. That's great. That doesn't make no sense. You understand what I'm saying?
And you know what? Listen, I just did an interview with Natural Tahuti. He said this sounds like an agent. With the FBA movement, it sounds like an agent provocateur, and
yes, it is. I think
it makes sense. I think he's right about that because I'm like, dude, right when you have like Africa finally coming into its own, now you have African Americans trying to separate, right. And then you have like the whole like political climate trying to make it so we can't leave or.
So we can't leave. Yep, exactly. Oh, we won't go over there because you know what I'm saying
we're not African, right?
Right. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And that's what the whole thing, even with this whole Abo movement, and I got Native American blood.
I think it might have been somebody who created this whole fake ass beef between South African.
But they were doing, listen, how South Africa had gained so much influence from us here in America. You got to remember the most money earning music in South Africa and South African house music.
Honey, I remember I went over there for the Red Bull Music Academy, and it was nothing but house music.
It was nothing but house music.
And they were doing poetry and stuff. It was
they didn't have a problem with us then.
But now all of a sudden this new man, listen, I want you to hear this. It's gonna blow your mind. I'm like, what's going on? Listen to this. What?
South Africans roasting people be like,
hi Adonis.
How you doing, Shorty?
I'm fine. How are you?
You pretty too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm actually Zimbabwean, but I live in South Africa. So I've been like listening and also following up with everything that is happening, right? So I
And
was about
here's the thing: is that they'll say that they've been listening and following up, but they're not doing any research. They are following up on TikTok. They're not following up on
Right,
Google.
right. That's the thing. The education.
They're not following up on like doing some
Right.
research thing. And
Right.
so they'll say, "Oh, I'm following up." So they're hearing what people are saying on TikTok. TikTok
Right.
is not a source of
It's
fact.
not a source of information. If anything, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be entertainment, but I would say more or less that it's more propagating. It's
And
more
there's two sides to this. Because I'll say, there's some points where I like love Adonis, where I'm like, okay, he's right. But then there's some points I'm like, when he gets into the Pan African aspect, I'm like, because, but you'll see. Let's go.
sorry, I'm just distracted by the comments. So I just wanted to just enlighten you about tradition, our African tradition as an African. I'm not going to put a nationality on me to say I'm Zimbabwean or whatever, but I'm African. As an African, we prioritize tradition. And when New Orleans came out and did those black faces and everything, it was mostly like disrespect to tradition. We prioritize tradition because we respect our ancestors. Ancestors, meaning the people that fought war for us, our great grandparents who died, and we don't pray to them, but we praise them and we ask for protection from them.
So okay, so you're saying that you guys honor tradition. However, this parade is a tradition of the African American ancestors that
we're trying
to fight against. And so, do you know anything about the Zulu parade at all?
No, I'm not. I'm not privy on it.
So
I'm not privy. I didn't even know they had a Zulu parade. That was interesting. I would have pretty much presumed that it would have been an honor. You know, saying African Americans trying to honor their African ancestry, even if it's not the way that they do it over there. Obviously, we've been far removed for almost 400, 500 years. You know what I'm saying? Why we can't give honor and reverence back to our ancestry?
Honey, this thing has gotten so crazy. Hold on, let me see if I can play this real quick. But everything I see is more from the South African standpoint of things. I'm trying to find something to explain it from an American standpoint, because I don't really see a lot. No, it's crazy. So this is the face. Everybody's like kind of getting bent out of shape because of this. Let me show you this, okay?
Somebody started this dumb argument.
Someone started it, but this is not. So this
is how easy it was for them to make a stupid argument about 100 men versus a gorilla to go viral, and it's all over right now. But then I see a lot of images on white pages of.
So they're getting mad at the fact that they're wearing a black. So this is the king of the Zulu.
They have to wear
parade,
masks.
Right?
They wear masks.
So they couldn't afford it back in the day to wear masks. So they painted their faces black with white eyes and whatever. They think that, so the Zulu people of South Africa think it's disrespectful and that they are dressing in blackface. It's like, no, they're just wearing black face paint. Right? So there's a difference between blackface and black face paint, right? Blackface is like a caricature.
Right.
This is about, okay. And then I was like, okay, first of all, this is not South African culture right here. This is Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Mardi Gras. And
I don't exactly know what the
Caribbean
Mardi Gras means. Is it Indian?
I think it is. I think it might. No, well, Mardi Gras is a French term.
Right. So it's a celebration of some kind of French Creole kind of Indian mixture of culture, and so they just did
and it's similar to the Caribbean parades and stuff that they
like
have.
The Brazilian Day Carnival.
Carnival.
So Carnival, Mardi Gras, right? And the South Africans are not really getting and no one is really explaining that this is a carnival French thing that, and so what he's trying to explain is that, okay, we are from America and there is different Black people all throughout America, and everybody does not celebrate Carnival or Mardi Gras.
Right.
That's a specific thing for Louisiana because they are from a different kind of like a heritage, like a French heritage that includes this kind of a thing, right? And it's gotten so freaking stupid. Like when you actually listen to the conversations that are being had, it's like they just don't understand. It's like, what are you? You're just not trying to understand. So let me just play this.
And seeing other people like mocking our ancestors, it's actually an insult to us. I'm not Zulu, but
no one is mocking your ancestors, ma'am. These are French people.
Right, and what the hell? That a lot of us have those same ancestors. What are you talking about? She don't look no different than some of the girls that live down the street from me. Right. What the hell is she talking about? Our ancestors, like you're white or something now? Are you different?
No. She's,
you know what I'm saying? These two brothers right here, I thought they were the two images of the same guy that's in this video. I thought this brother was Ethiopian. Remember that?
Yeah, right. I remember that.
Yeah, so I don't get it. You know, they're just trying to divide us, the African Americans and stuff, who are now going into Africa, and they're coming with money. They're actually freaking daggone helping the economy, and they're building their own places within Africa. So now we're going to be tribal. We're going to have tribal wars against African Americans returning home. Mm-hmm. It's absurd.
So that's their way of like stopping us. Here we go.
Lo Bengula and Shaka Zulu were both one of the same thing. So what I'm saying is, when South Africa, sorry. Yeah.
So why South Africa didn't diss Zimbabwe? What do you call yourself?
Zimbabwean.
Zimbabwean?
Yes.
Well, I think that's the first time I've ever heard that saying. But why did South Africa disrespect Zimbabwe?
Well, what I can say about South Africa, well, I wouldn't want to like say bad things about it because I live here in South Africa. All I can, to my experience, I've never experienced any bad thing in South Africa. All those things that happen here, that what you guys see about South Africans and Zimbabweans fighting is only online. But honestly speaking, I've never experienced, I've been in South Africa since 2016. I've never experienced xenophobia. I've never experienced racism. I've never experienced those kind of things. Maybe because of...
I think it's very interesting that you say all this stuff. Yeah. So why didn't South Africa, when they seen the New Orleans situation, why didn't they disrespect Nigeria or Ghana? Or
that's what I'm trying to tell you, that what you guys see is on the internet. Mm-hmm. But in reality, we live together. We love it.
But you missed the point. Why didn't they disrespect Brazilians when they seen the New Orleans video?
I'm not sure about that, honestly.
The point I'm making is, instead of actually addressing New Orleans and you say that you have a tradition because of your ancestors, you have the utmost respect for them, they disrespected a whole nother group of people inside of America, ancestors and stuff like that, and was frustrated that the other group of people did not actually even know about what the hell was going on and was blatantly disrespectful. And when I acknowledge it, tell them, like, bro, you got a problem with New Orleans. It's not about issue, what you got a problem with, and we didn't even know about it at all. But we look at these videos and you guys are disrespecting our ancestors. Now,
South Africa, sorry to cut you. I think South Africa retaliated to the fact that they reached out to the Americans, and most of the Americans, they actually, instead of actually understanding the culture, the Zulu culture and what it is, you guys went in a defense mode.
No. You reached out to New Orleans people, and New Orleans people told you to shove it where the sun don't shine. So you thought that it was okay for you guys to disrespect the rest of America. And by disrespecting the rest of America,
I want to show you like some of the bullshit that they did. Hold on, hold on.
I sell nails, and I'm an exotic dancer.
this type of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Like trying to make fun of black people in America. And then she actually like started.
We make fun of ourselves here too.
She tried to like she was trying to pretend like she was picking cotton, playing "They Not Like Us." You know what I'm saying in the background.
Yeah, this is crazy. But at the same time, that I don't see how they can make fun of anybody. You in your own land and still got your butts whooped and freaking colonized. We got taken over to a whole nother land, you know what I'm saying, and had to integrate in, you know what I'm saying, and still built this bitch. You know what I mean? And it was in like the 1960s, 1970s where a lot of the African leaders were looking forward to African Americans coming and sharing our knowledge of how to build infrastructures.
I
like
think it's this new generation because
now all of a sudden these dudes acting like, you know, listen, if it wasn't for us, a lot of your voices wouldn't have been heard across the world. That's why Haile Selassie had sent emissaries here to North America, to Harlem, Chicago, to establish the Ethiopian World Federation, because he knew how important we were. The ones who were going over. We were going to Africa to fight wars and stuff that weren't even our own. Okay,
here we go.
Okay, in that fact, right, when South Africa reached out to the Americans, New Orleans.
Stop saying Americans.
But New Orleans isn't it in America? Aren't they Americans?
No. You guys don't have an understanding of geography in America. So to simplify it down for you and the rest of the Africans, just say New Orleans. So it can be very simple for you. If I say Americans, no disrespect, but if you guys keep saying Americans, your brain gets confused. So just say New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay, my question is, aren't New Orleans people Americans?
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
So if we Africans are addressing a certain type of people, we say the Americans, because New Orleans is in America.
See,
so when
the difference is, and that shows the mentality and capacity, because if I have a problem with somebody from South Africa, I'm not going to say Africans, I'm going to say South Africans. You see that? If you got a problem with somebody from Nigeria, you're not going to say Africans are being disrespectful. You say, no, Nigerians are being disrespectful. So because we have tribes, just like you guys in America, we have 50 different states and people who are born into those tribes. I'm from New York City. I'm a New Yorker. All right. I come from the state yourself. New Orleans is in Louisiana. That's the state that it's in. So when you sit down and you say, oh, this, you have to understand, just like in Africa, you guys have tribes. We have our own type of tribes in our own respect. If you're from Florida, you're Floridian. If you're from California, I don't know what they call each other, but
Californian.
So when you sit down and say, oh, they're American, should I say the same thing about Nigeria? Ghana? No, it wouldn't make any sense. You're talking to New Orleans, so you address New Orleans.
Right.
Okay. So
but you know what? She's still not gonna get it.
She's being ignorant. But you know, and that's the whole thing. You know, that's the whole thing.
And why do you think that they want to because my thing is like, I think it's a chosen ignorance. It's like, you know, god dang on well, he just explained to you that New Orleans has a separate culture, its own culture.
Right.
But
right.
maybe because they've never been
New York,
here.
when I went down south, you know what I'm saying? They used to call me New York. Anybody who came from New York, and we got a lot of flack, you know what I'm saying? Because they think that New Yorkers, we go everywhere, and we think that we're the boss of everything, which is true. You know what I'm saying? It's a fact. But, you know what I'm saying? I got hate when I was in South Carolina from my own South Carolinian Geechee family, because I'm from New York.
I'm from the Midwest. They say you're from up north.
You know what I'm saying?
So the thing is that they don't even understand that there's like a separation, even in America, from Southern blacks to even Northern blacks.
Right. We don't have that in New York. We have the African Day Parade in New York, in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? You guys have the Caribbean Parade.
Yeah, the Caribbean Day Parade. We have the African Day Parade. You know what I'm saying? Which is dope. It has Africans, African Americans. You know what I'm saying? Caribbeans. You know what I'm saying? Usually when we have parades, it's all inclusive. You know what I'm saying? And there are people from the African continent who are. Should
they get mad because you're dressed?
We don't get mad. Should I get mad because an African person is in the African of the Brooklyn African Day Parade, or in the Caribbean Day Parade selling his drums or his beads, or you know what I'm saying?
They straight up be up there.
They kente cloths. Should I get mad? Oh, this is our parade. This is our parade.
Exactly.
Take that back to Africa. That's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? But this is why their nation has been destabilized for so long, because they have them fighting amongst themselves. You know, sit here and act like everybody in South Africa is all freaking goddamn lovey-dovey. That's a goddamn lie.
No.
That's a damn lie.
Africa is all of a sudden united now.
No, they haven't been united. You know, Burkina Faso is starting. Look at you know what I'm saying, like going back to the 60s and 1950s. You know what I'm saying, to try to organize the Organization of African Unity was difficult because folks were fighting against each other, and there were people. Eritrea was still trying to side with the Italians. You had folks who were trying to side with the French. You know what I'm saying? There were always somebody who the Europeans could throw some money at to keep us from unifying. And here we are today having this conversation now that African Americans' influence and money is going over there. Hold on now.
Didn't we also help free Mandela? Didn't we?
Yes, we did. Come on now. I don't know if you remember Black Medallions, No Gold. Back in that day, we was rocking Nelson Mandela freaking daggone medallions. We was rocking Nelson Mandela shirts. You know what I'm saying? We was supporting, you know what I'm saying, the fight against apartheid. And we're over here still dealing with freaking daggone white racism, you know what I'm saying, in America. But we were still focused on what was going on in Africa.
Straight up. And I hope that there's some South African people that will see this, because we were fighting.
Don't do that.
Our ancestors were fighting. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. Exactly.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. Let's hear this bullshit. Here we go.
What is your problem with the South Africans? Since you are from New York, I want to understand what is your problem with South Africans.
Yeah, the South Africans helped build and promote the toxic, diabolical content that was being created and constantly being created on a consistent basis from content creators like I Complain and the other guy who's making Wade in the Water content, diabolical stuff, just to rage bait over Black Americans. At the same time, you're allowing your white Africans to jump into this conversation and be disrespectful.
Oh yeah, let's not even talk about that they let the white people come in and start doing the same thing.
I believe it. Look at that video. You just had two freaking daggone colonizers walking in front of the daggone parade. You wouldn't see that here.
Yeah. Let's go.
All for the sake of having their opportunity to be racist, because they know they'll get canceled in South Africa. So you're giving them that chance to be racist on a global standard, which is diabolical, because in the 1994, they were all in apartheid. So like, it's crazy that you don't even see it. It makes no sense to you. The lack of understanding, the lack of knowledge, and the lack of the way you guys behave or allow this thing to spill out is utterly embarrassing. And I just do not like it.
Can you hear what you're saying? You are like also identifying me as the way you guys.
I said not you. It's South Africa in the chat.
All right. But what I'm trying to say is, with whatever is saying that I Complain and the other guy that you said that are coming out and saying these things about Americans and all that stuff, I'm not supporting that, or neither am I condoning it, right?
You are condoning it because you're up here.
I'm not condoning that wig she got on her head.
No. New Orleans. You are condoning it because you're up here defending them instead of addressing your people.
Right.
Listen,
wig.
So
okay, she got Yaki 5 on right now.
What I'm trying to say is, Americans started with retaliating when.
No. Stop.
Can I finish?
You can finish once you stop.
Okay.
I taught you a word to replace American with. What is the word?
New Orleans. But they are Americans. Okay.
When nationality doesn't take.
See how no matter what you say, they just want to lump Americans into Black Americans into one group so that they can attack easy.
Well, like, African Americans used to do it too back in the day. A lot of African Americans used to do it too. They didn't want to be called Africans. There's a lot of folks still to this day who say, I ain't no African, you know what I'm saying? And yet and still, both of you, if you were standing next to a person from South Africa, from Burkina Faso, and you were surrounded by the Klan, both of y'all niggas getting lynched today.
And let me tell you something. I've been to South Africa. I was like, dude, is that my cousin over there? You like a bunch of doppelgangers, like a motherfucker in South Africa.
Come on.
It's like doppelganger city over there. You're like, what? Who is that?
I had a dude from Ghana say that my father looked exactly like one of the ex-presidents of Ghana. You know what I'm saying? And he does. And I looked at the picture of my dad. And he looks just like him.
Right. So,
like the
I understand.
continent of Africa,
I
like
understand.
55 countries.
I understand.
Yes.
Let me tell you what this looks like in my head. All right. This is what it looks like in my head. New Orleans doing their parade. Africa, what is this? I don't like it. They say, please don't take that down, whatever. New Orleans said, it is what it is. So Africa comes back and goes, that's what it's looking like in my head. That's what it's looking like. That's how I see it. Now, that's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
No restraint, no self-control, just pure savagery.
But South Africa is as well expressing their feelings towards how Americans also retaliate.
We've already established. What is the word that you learned?
Now it's no more New Orleans only attacking South Africa. It's also Americans. As for example, you a New Yorker, you are attacking South Africans. Yeah.
What if I said that attack South Africa?
We have HIV.
Do you?
We have a high rate of HIV in South Africa.
Is that a fact?
Well,
it is
biased.
No, it's not biased. This is an actual fact. And it's not just in Africa, it's in the whole world. In South Africa, they have the most people living with HIV in the world. In the world. That's a fact. So that's not an attack. That's a fact. To this day, right now, South Africa has the most people in the world living with HIV and AIDS. Right now. Now that you know that that's a fact, and you're living there, good luck.
Oh, I've been living here since 2016.
Let me tell you something. Adonis is an asshole. By the way, I'm not sure if you realize he's an asshole.
Yeah, no, I caught
he
that.
He is a fucking asshole. That was asshole.
But I mean, it's a fact, right?
I think it's
that was some asshole shit to say.
It was a low blow, but he's mad. He's upset because, and rightfully so, honestly. You know, like, come on now, don't sit here and act like don't try to act like they're living in freaking daggone Wakanda yet. You know what I'm saying? Y'all haven't gotten there yet.
But no, I have never realized how, like, with their English accents, how condescending Africans could be. Like, they could be.
Yeah, but you know what? Caribbeans did it too. They didn't want to be called niggas or freaking, they didn't want to be called that, Negroes. You know what I'm saying? Because and this is the whole thing. It kept us divided, even amongst our Caribbean brothers and sisters in the diaspora. You know what I mean? There's so much that they have to keep us divided. In any way, any lines and boundaries that they can keep us divided as a people is what's going to keep us still under colonial rule.
I want you to hear this white lady. I said, "Oh my God, listen to this."
Oh, come on now. You're going to trigger me.
This is why you need followers. I told you guys.
Oh, God. I don't need followers. This is like a Mickey Mouse little TikTok. I really don't need followers to prove a point.
Answer this question.
Put me on video. Hi. I'm here, aren't I? Woohoo. Put me on video.
I can't put you on video.
Why, hun?
You need a certain amount of followers to be able to activate your video.
Oh, okay. No, I get it now. It's all good.
Yeah. So why'd you say like?
So it's like that. It's that Australian bullshit. It's like an Australian accent. Don't like now.
You got an Australian. Yeah. So how did they treat the people in the freaking Aborigines over there?
Exactly. It's the same kind of energy. Right?
That's crazy.
Why do I say?
Why'd you tell them like Zulus do it, and then when the person said like do what your master says, you said exactly.
Because
so she says Zulus do it, and then someone says do what your master says. She said exactly. So the people in the audience, she said Zulus do it, and she said someone says do what your master says, African American person, and then she said exactly, and no one said nothing to her.
That's because crazy. I joined this live because I heard you were talking down on the Zulu people, and you said that we have a problem with you guys, and this whole back and forth with the Zulus and the parade, etc.
Hold on, are you Zulu?
Me?
She don't even know what the fuck is going on, but she's gonna jump in there. That's the type of bullshit. It's just a bunch of Then
Of course, she's gonna come in and throw more gas on the fire.
right, they're loving it. These white people are loving it.
Loving it.
They're loving it. Yes, I'm on the Zulu side. Okay, let's go.
Them as what do you call them? Black South African, white South African, Indian South African. They are South Africans. So I say Zimbabwean. I am Zimbabwean. I'm not a colored Zimbabwean. I'm not a white Zimbabwean. I'm not a black Zimbabwean. There's nothing like that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What does black mean to you?
Black.
Yeah.
I'm black.
But what does that mean? What makes you black?
My roots, where I came from, my people, my mom, my dad.
No, see, black didn't come from Africa. That term came in America in what was it, 1776.
Now break down
1776 with the Bacon Rebellion. The term black was never used before. They called people of African descent Moors. They called them Ethiopians. They called that term black was used in America. So in order for her to even consider herself black, she had to be influenced by black Americans because that term comes from after the Bacon Rebellion.
Thank you. Let's go.
They are black.
What makes somebody black?
The color of your skin.
So are Indians black?
Indians are not Indians. That's their nationality. Indians are Indians, white are white, black are black.
No, you said that the color of your skin makes you black. Some Indians have darker skin than me. Are they black?
I'm not sure about that.
She's not educated like we are in this subject.
You don't see how
she's just not educated about this as we are in this subject.
But but here's the thing: they tried to, because they have that accent. They feel like I don't know. It's like it's so condescending.
Of a black South African and a white South African.
No. I don't know anything from South Africa.
So why were you asking him a question that you don't know about? That's the thing that South Africans are having problems with the New Orleans, right? Quote that they are telling South Africans what their history is all about when the South Africans actually know a lot about the Zulu nation, about whatever they tried, right? But New Orleans are being hard-headed, and they were like, no, there was a witch doctor, there was this, there was that, of which black faces. How?
First of all right, so let me go into the Zulu thing. What happened is during the parade, they had different characters of the parade, right? They had a witch doctor, they had this and they had that. You know what I'm saying? But these people are just not even like going into the history of it. They created different characters throughout the thing to add to the parade. Okay?
Right.
That does not mean that they're trying to mimic South African Zulu tribe.
Zulu wasn't the only tribe. In fact, the Zulus, Shaka Zulu had to fight against another South African tribe that was totally
the Tosa tribe.
Exactly. So I don't, everybody who's getting upset with freaking, the terminology that African Americans use to give reverence back to our African roots is absurd. We have the ability to express ourselves freely. And if we're giving reverence back, you don't like it because it doesn't reflect how you guys, practice certain things over there. That's your business. You know what I'm saying? That's your business. But we're still giving reverence back to our African roots, which is still lifting them up. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still lifting y'all motherfuckers up and y'all are pissed off.
But they're not even talking about like the Zulu Nation from what's
right.
the name?
Right. So Zulu Nation. Yep. There was a whole and that wasn't just a music group. That was actually a whole entire gang. Zulu Nation in New York is a gang.
It's a gang?
Yes.
It's an actual gang?
Gang. On gang.
What?
Zulu Nation.
No.
We had Zulu Nations, Bloods, Crips, Zulus, freaking daggone, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Zulus, freaking daggone.
I thought Zulu Nation was an actual
rap group, but they named it after a 1960s gang, or community group of young people. You know what I'm saying? And it was larger than the music was. The band the name Zulu Nation became huge, but it's actually a gang. Look
What,
it up.
like actual like street
Like
gang?
Bloods and Crips. Yes, Zulu Nation is huge in New York.
Wow. So if you say you're part of the Zulu Nation, you're part of a gang like Bloods, Crips, Zulu
Right.
Nation.
You know what I'm saying? I was Blood,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? When I was younger, you know what I'm saying? I was affiliated. And you know what I'm saying? We had little freaking unities and stuff with certain groups. Zulu Nation was cool with us for a while, and there was some falling outs and stuff like all of that. Yeah, you know, Zulu Nation is a gang.
But they haven't said shit about that. They
didn't say nothing about
a damn
They
parade.
don't want no smoke with the Zulu Nation either.
No, they don't want it.
Zulu,
Let's
anything
go.
like that. So my only problem is the comprehension problem that's actually going on.
Yes.
In a thing, but it's not that I'm standing with you, because I have one problem with you, is that when they try to speak to you or make you understand something, right, you quickly go ahead and you try to attack. So I'm just trying to make you understand from my perspective, right? So my chat is that, okay, cool. We had a problem with the whole New Orleans thing, right? Not specifically Black Americans or anything like that. Just hold on. But it was a thing of when you guys had the whole Black Lives Matter. To us, it doesn't matter whether it happened in one part of the continent or one part of a country or whatever. You know, it was a Black Lives Matter. It's American lives, it's Black lives, and we are Black, right? As you say that, that's what you say, right? We are Black, we're all Black, right? We had the problem with the fact that Black Americans did not stand up for us. When people have Black faces and they mock Black Americans, we stand up for you guys. But when it was a thing of like, this is Zulu parade, I'm telling you guys that, hey, this is very disrespectful, you know? It's disrespectful to our cultures here, like especially the Zulu culture here. And as South Africans, we stand together united. I mean, it was not supposed to go that far off where we attack all Black Americans.
I didn't do anything. I'm just saying and listening. She froze.
Okay.
But
They got their priorities all fucked up.
Y'all see me, right? Oh.
They should be trying to freaking daggone link up with these groups.
That we always support.
Trying to freaking,
arguing.
instead of arguing, trying to unite Africans all over the world. You guys are not.
It should be a whole other conversation.
Yeah, it's not a microcosm because yes,
But
we did stand up. We did stand up for South Africa all through the freaking daggone apartheid. We did. You can't say that we didn't stand up for South Africa. I remember that time period. We was rocking Nelson Mandela shirts, Winnie Mandela shirts.
Was that in South Africa? Ali Boombaye, was that in South Africa?
I'm not sure, but you know what I'm saying? I know for a fact that, you know what I'm saying, African Americans during the Daisy Age, during the 60s, the 70s, my father, you know what I'm saying, they were all going back to their African roots. And in the African district in New York, where they was bringing the imported drums and African goods, we was helping move those goods and sending money. But my father, my father went to Ghana. Stevie Lloyd, all of them were going back and forth to Africa. You know what I'm saying? This is before they were able to even go back to Cuba, because a lot of, you know what I'm saying, the Cuban Lukumi tribes were, you know what I'm saying, and there's a huge connection between the Yoruba, the Ife Ile in the West with the Ife Ile in West Africa. You understand what I'm saying? So we were linking up for a long time. Now all of a sudden we're starting to see, as Africa starts to freaking daggone, you know what I'm saying, grow in its economy due to a lot of us African Americans. Remember what what's the name? Freaking daggone Oprah Winfrey built the school out there for girls, a couple of schools. Freaking daggone Jay-Z went out there. Freaking what's his name just built a whole community. I don't even like Ja Rule just built a whole community out in Ghana. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been doing this for years. We've been investing in Africa for years. Now all of a sudden we're outsiders.
Man, it's the crazy. I've been to South Africa before, like to me, like, it was such a beautiful experience.
I think the fear is that when we get over there, that we're going to have a different class, And so they're trying to establish something because there's African Americans flooding into Africa right now. To Tanzania, South Africa, Ghana, you know what I'm saying? African Americans are starting to flood in and go, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nepal. You know what I'm saying? That they're starting to go to Africa and starting to do a lot of developing. And I think that there's a fear of a class status when African Americans really do, you know what I'm saying, really establish themselves. And that's what we have to be careful.
Listen, you know what? I want you to hear this conversation.
Go ahead.
He does have a conversation with a Pan-Africanist, right?
Okay,
because he's the FBA, right? So
right.
you know that we have this whole FBA thing, right?
Yeah.
So it gets really crazy. So hold on, let me go back to the other one because let me go back to this one. All right, so he's talking to her, and then
he a black face on a black man. You know, even white people in New Orleans are celebrating that, and you guys are condoning such things like that. That is why South Africa is not only the Zulu tribe is fighting with New Orleans and the Americans as well. It's the Xhosas, it's the Tswanas, it's everybody who's fighting with it, because that is so much disrespect that you guys are condoning even white people celebrating and making a mockery out of somebody's tribe. Tradition, culture.
No, they're not.
I think that they're misunderstanding it. It's not a disrespect. It's an honor. And actually, because in America we were so our African identities were so oppressed.
Do you think that they should end the Zulu parade?
Say it again.
Do you think they should rename?
You're glitching a little bit. I can't hear you.
Do you think that they should rename the name of the Zulu parade?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think that that South Africans need to understand the cultural context more. You know what I'm saying? If they understood the cultural context, they would probably freaking celebrate it with us.
Bring your ass over here and really
and celebrate. Put your mask on and get in there and freaking dance.
Bring your ass over here. Put your mask on.
Word up. Like
that would be more powerful than anything.
That's what I'm saying. As opposed to being divided against us. How about y'all continue to worry about, you know what I'm saying, you got freaking daggone Elon Musk in office.
Well, no, he just lost his whole thing with Tesla, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's the Tesla thing, but he still got political power and a lot of money, and he's still trying to affect things that are going on in Africa and, you know what I'm saying, and here, you know,
for the white people, not for
for his people, not for South Africans. So why are y'all focused on us when we are your soldiers? We're also
here for you. We are the warrior class. We are
divided against what the Bible say. You know what I'm saying? A nation divided against itself cannot stand. They need to cut it out. We all need to cut it out. African Americans, a lot of African Americans too, with this FBA stuff is divisive. What's that dude named freaking daggone Judah Nas, you know what I'm saying? This nigga talking all of this negative stuff about Africans. Yo, I had to literally freaking I unsubscribed and I freaking removed this nigga off of my page.
No. I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I'm proud to be a Pan-Africanist.
Word up,
I believe that we should all care about everything.
Even as an Israelite, you should be pro-Africa. As an Israelite, you should be pro-Africa. Israel is still on the North African subtectonic plate. It's not Middle East. There is no such thing. That is Northeast Africa.
Yes. Straight up.
Okay? The tradition of the Bible is still freaking daggone African at the end of the day, and niggas don't want to freaking daggone fix their face.
Let's go.
I'm saying the guy who made the super soaker. Like, we have tons of different people who've invented multiple different things. And for people in general to not know these people who change their lives on a consistent daily basis is diabolical to me. How can you sit there and be pro-black? How can you sit there and be pro this and not have respect or acknowledgement of the people who actually change the game for you to actually live? Even the doors closing for the elevator. The reason that you have doors that close on the elevator was created by a Black American because his daughter almost fell down the elevator shaft. And he had to, after that, he decided to make doors to close the elevator. So that's actual history. Regardless of that, I don't have any disrespect to South Africans at all. What I do have is a shock value of embarrassment, because I see a lot of people just consuming information from content creators instead of doing the critical thinking or background checking the information that's being provided to them. Mardi Gras doing blackface because it represents a Zulu witch doctor, that doesn't sound logical at all, because the history of Mardi Gras is two different things, and Zulu parade is not Mardi Gras. That's a whole nother different situation. The reason why they did that, I shot a video on YouTube, which is up right now, where somebody from Louisiana literally broke down the history on why they do these things and the historical background of it. A lot of people from South Africa who I've interacted with thus far have been giving their opinions, but none of them have stopped and done their own research. They all think that your feelings matter. Your feelings don't matter. Logic does. Historically accurate situations. So we're gonna have this conversation, not with you, but just everybody in Africa. I would really appreciate it for them to be mature enough to go do research to have the conversation, because no one here, I can tell.
So enlighten me, just brief me up on the New Orleans parade. I just want to know about the New Orleans parade.
In 2006,
Sorry to cut you. Are they celebrating the South African Zulu, or is their own Zulu parade that they made up and whatever it is? That's what I want to understand on that.
No problem.
You should have looked at it before you came
their
up on
own
the
parade representing that, but they named it to honor the Zulus. So you can just, it's just the name is to honor the Zulus, but there's still the traditions that are African American, you know what I'm saying, Caribbean and etc. So
my thing is, why didn't she know that?
Because she's trying to freaking daggone act cocky and be arrogant. This is the freaking bourgeoisie of Negroes. You know what I'm saying? And it's all over the place. We got bourgeois Negroes here in America, and we got bourgeois Negroes over there in Nigeria and South America.
Right,
and everybody wants to be pitted against each other and try to compete with each other when we should be competing with the white man.
So here we go, and this is a Pan-Africanist, and let's go.
It's not an actual a proper representation of the Zulu people, right? Because the Zulu people are like, hey, this is not who we are. Can you change it up a little bit, right? And then this one girl made this video about picking cotton, right, from Africa. But I feel like if us as a community are like, okay, your problem is with Louisiana and the parade, can we also say, hey, our problem is with the specific girl, not the actual South African people, but that specific girl who was insulted? Can we be like granular and selective towards that?
Hydra. Are you familiar with the snake, the dragon of the Hydra?
Yeah, Greek mythology, you cut one, two takes its place.
Yeah, and I don't feel like this is just that girl's particular situation. So you cut her off, and two more people are gonna come up and try to assume that position, because that's what's already happened, because they gained so many followers. But to be honest with you, I don't think that. I actually think this is a really good situation that's happening right now. Where are you from, by the way?
Me, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was born and raised.
Are you FBA?
I consider myself African American, not necessarily FBA, because I'm more Pan-Africanist.
Yeah, all right, it's cool. Oh, you're Pan-African?
Yes, I believe, yes.
What are your thoughts on this particular situation this is very interesting, because with all of this situation that's happening, and you know how much support the Pan-Africans give to the majority of all of these African states and countries itself, how does this make someone like you feel? And this is actually really good, because I've always wanted to speak to a Pan-African. How does this make someone like you feel, knowing that you really put on for Africans across America, from Africa in the Americas as well? Like, for me, when I look at it, I'm like, this must be a very uncomfortable position for you, because from what I know of Pan-Africans, they always want to be connected to the roots of their motherland and support the people in Africa and the people who come from Africa to America, So when you look at the people that you're constantly supporting and you're putting your efforts into, and you see them blatantly disrespect the people who built you, how does that make you feel?
So I feel saddened, honestly, because I see disrespect on a triple frontier, right? I see disrespect from Africans. I see disrespect from Black Americans. I see disrespect from Caribbean people, right? Afro-Caribbeans. And I think we're kind of allowing ourselves to be divided in a sense, right? Because the whole goal is the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Because and I understand FBA, why they delineated because of the disrespect from Africans. And you have every right to feel disrespected. However, I feel like this is manufactured, right? It's manufactured in the sense that they've been taught ignorance and we've been taught ignorance, right? We're not knowledgeable in African culture in that way, and they're not educated about Black American culture. You see, but this is why I like the internet, because it's building a bridge and connecting all of us, right? So we understand each other's pains.
Are you familiar with like Dr. Umar?
Yes, snow bunnies, yeah, all of that.
Do you believe in that? That's a pretty strong perspective.
In the whole interracial dating?
Just the way he sees white people in general.
I agree with him to a certain extent. Yes, I do.
All right, I want to ask you a question. I was just curious. Like, I'm one of those people that just ask very critical questions.
Yeah.
Is the reason
he considers himself an FBA and he's talking to a Pan-Africanist. This is a very deep conversation. Listen, this is deep. Watch
has this disdain or animosity for white people, or you would agree with him because of the slavery and the way we've been treated for generations?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So my question is, if we get everything that we won back, and we get plus more to make it an even playing field, matter of fact, even more advanced, right?
Yes.
Then would you still have the same type of perspective?
Sure, because the thing is, we all deserve reparations, right? The reason why I believe that, because of a great injustice that's happened to us. However, I understand that the American civilization is going to crumble soon.
I think the white civilization is going to crumble, not the American. But okay.
Okay, the power structure of, okay, you can say that. Let's say Western European structure is going to crumble soon. And that can affect, of course, everybody here in America, right? And most people see the writing on the wall. And this is why they're opting to leave America and go to the Caribbean, right? South America, Africa, some places in Asia, because we see the collapse happening. You see? So this is why I said we need to build a bridge.
Hold on. I agree. We're going to get to this point. You're going to get to it. But I'm just curious on this.
So what do you think so far about this conversation?
I think that this brother is very enlightened right here. He's got all of the points that, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? There is a great divide, and there are those who are trying to fuel that divide.
Fuel the divide. Thank you.
Because as long as they can keep us divided while all of this unifying, you know what I'm saying, Africa is beginning to unify and nationalize, you know what I'm saying, and build upon its sovereignty.
And then
Americans have been highly influential.
They want to keep us over here to be the slave race.
Yes. You know, and also, you know, we bring with us a plethora of education coming from, you know, our you know, educational backgrounds, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of African people were not afforded. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to Long Island, you know what I'm saying? I was in schools with European, you know, like with Jews and Italians. My middle school had an indoor pool in it and a freaking daggone botanical garden. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people have bad educations in America. A lot of us had really good educations, but a lot of us.
My high school, like, it had like about 3 or 4 different like gyms.
You see what I'm saying? So when we come back with our college educations, and there's a lot of, you know, educated people in Africa, don't get me twisted, you know what I'm saying, a lot of educated people, especially in Nigeria. There's like a whole area that's like a freaking university, you know what I'm saying, in Nigeria. Lots of Nigerian doctors and lawyers and what have you. The more education comes into Africa from even African Americans,
but now
unity. Yeah.
But what's happening is because this whole divide is happening, you see more African Americans like dissing Africa right now.
To divide themselves against away from African people, and that's problematic. And they know that the real threat is when we're all united. Okay,
Shay, let's go.
When reparations is paid for, not just the critical thinking. You know, just curious. Reparations paid for. We're giving back more. Say we're giving back more than 40 acres in a deal. We're giving half of it, or even 75%. Hypothetical, you know. Then wouldn't that make us the racist if we're treating white people in a way like, because everything's been paid back, everything's been paid, or we even got an extension of more than what we asked for.
Sure.
If we treat white people in that way, wouldn't that make us now the racist?
No, that's reciprocal altruism.
It would make us prejudiced, not racist, because we don't have the system of power. Right. We don't have like systemic.
But we would have it. But we would have it then. We would have it then. If they gave us more than we asked for and set us up in a position where we have, let's say, 75% of the United States and we own.
No, we would not, because 1% still owns the majority of the income. Listen, even if 75% of us own like the wealth, 1% controls everything. So therefore, we would never.
Right.
You cannot get control of that because you can never control BlackRock.
Well, if
Goldman Sachs.
Africa nationalizes their resources and creates a unified African dollar, the 1% are in trouble. That's why they 40.
That's why they're tripping about Traore.
Yes, yep. The 40 attempts on his life already. 40.
All the land and the minerals in it or whatever, hypothetical, you know.
Okay, hypothetical. You said 75% of the United States?
Yeah, let's say hypothetical, right? 75%.
Man, we need to. I don't even know. We didn't have a meeting. I don't even know what to do. Like, I'm like, bro, these young kids don't even understand what's happening here. They're just so
right.
Let's go. They don't even have an understanding of what's happening.
Straight down the United States, and then we would have the infrastructure. We would have everything. Everything will be moving forward and moving progressively forward. Correct?
Yes.
So wouldn't that at that moment?
But we don't have access to the resources. So we have the money, but money don't mean shit without resources. We have money, okay? Money can like be based on the stock market can be disintegrated or like brought up and down. So
that's another reason why they
like some money.
The gold standard. That's why they changed the gold standard on the dollar bill, so long ago. You know what I'm saying? Where it used to, money used to be backed.
Is nothing but like a fake ass way.
This money, our American dollar, is not backed by gold. It's backed by debt. So the more debt you get into, the more the federal bank reserves can put out more dollar bills. So natural resources backing gold is what changes the actual value of currency.
You know, to have that same perspective make us racist?
I think it would make us separatists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily see racism because I don't believe we would do the same thing they did to us.
We would.
You think?
Except for the One West niggas, they were
in a position of
One West niggas want to put them back in bondage, yo.
Power of hierarchy.
Yes,
he would not penalize white Americans to a direct extent.
I think the penalization would be the absolute removal and separation.
You think that he would do that? I think he would do that. But if they violated that, you won't think that he would go to an extreme based off his character? We both know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Violation, though.
Yeah,
violation, yes.
All right, so all right. I don't know. I just think there's a slippery slope when it comes down to interacting with multiple different people. And I don't think that all white people are our enemy itself. I understand the historical references here, but even when you start traveling abroad, all white people are not the same. Romanians are not like Bulgarians. So he kind of gets mixy.
No, I agree with you, right? This is why I think Western European power, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say if we did get reparations, right? Do you actually trust the white people to actually leave us alone?
Hell no.
Because they didn't do it with Tulsa, Oklahoma. They didn't do it in the past, right? They didn't do it during Jim Crow when we wanted to be by ourselves. We had our own cities and they bombed it. Right.
All right. I'll say this. Right now, they're enacting segregation to come back.
No, I'm saying.
But hold on. I know what you mean. But right now, like we can both agree that right now, I'm not sure if it passed, but they're in talks of bringing back segregation, correct?
Yes, precisely.
If that happens, then they would have to leave us alone. They can't do a Black Wall Street anymore. It's clipped. We would literally be able to kick out if we wanted to, we can take over a whole town and kick out every single white person so we're not hiring you if we wanted to. At that point.
Sure, but now the militarization of America, because I don't believe that even if we had everything that we wanted, they would leave us alone. I don't think so. I think we would have to be equal in measure in terms of protection, having security, and then being unified as a people. Then they'll leave us alone.
Yeah, that's going to have to start at home base. Question.
Right.
Don't you wonder? During this whole Black Brit versus Black American situation, South Africa versus Black American situation, where are the Pan-Africans? Where is Dr. Umar and all of these people who should be in the middle of the forefront protecting his brothers and sisters from his both sides and standing in and trying to gather everything up? Why is Dr. Umar not in the middle of this?
Well, that's a good question. This I don't know. it could be
Dr.
baby daddy
Umar's
going on
not
yet. Maybe he's
He
Pan-Africanism.
too busy trying to get some pussy.
Yeah, that dude. Every time a woman walk past this Negro, freaking loses his daggone attention
Right. And he
span.
is not thinking about no damn Pan Africanism. He's
Mhm.
thinking about pan pussy.
You know, facts.
He's thinking about how much
How much yams he can get? You know what I'm saying?
Who he gonna knock down next? He ain't thinking about no damn thing.
He's a
Dr.
pimp.
Umar. Well, that's
Yeah.
the worst.
He's a pimp preacher with Kente on. He's a pimp preacher with
He
Kente.
actually was picking up stuff around his school and thought, I just need a person that's gonna listen, thick thighs and thick legs and thick thighs. And if you ain't got
Always
the
talking about
big old
always
eyes and thick thighs,
focused on,
like, bro,
on
can you
physical
please pick
stuff.
the fucking trash up, nigga?
Yeah, can we focus? Can we get back to this education, bro?
Bro, you don't even need that thing to pick that up. Just bend down and pick it up. He's
Dude, he need to open a strip club. I bet you that would have been opened up
like to pick up
faster than
one
his
fucking bottle. That nigga was get your go do some yoga or some Pilates, bro.
I personally think that they don't want to be put into the middle of any particular type of situation. And I'm not saying it's a grift, but I'm saying that it's very interesting how we have tons of Pan-Africans. You're the first person I've actually interacted with who said I'm a Pan-African and I want to talk about this thing. So I was very interested. I'm like, yo, where are the Pan-Africans? Like, why is it all goes to silent right now?
Our voices is not that loud right now.
You got one of the biggest guys, Umar.
Sure.
Umar ain't
no big dude.
He
He's
is not the representation of Pan-Africanism.
Right. Yeah, Umar's like a mascot, honestly. Like he's just, he's
He's
very
not
popular
a mascot.
figure.
He is like an ascot. He's an ascot. He's not even. He don't represent shit.
Umar ain't he's not no Malcolm X. He ain't no freaking
balls. That's all he's representing his balls and his cum and also that's all he represents. All he think about is who he gonna get it in with next. Okay.
Yeah.
He is not representing.
That is, he's not doing that kind of work. You know what I'm saying?
Stop it.
I no disrespect to Umar.
But
or
you know what?
like that.
Hold on. But
you need to get King Yahweh. King Yahweh need to go over there and
you know what? He's in like he left America. He's in the UK and Romania.
Yeah.
He don't even know that this nigga's full of shit. Come on now, bro.
Using his name for a clickbaitable title situation. I don't want no problems with that guy. I don't want no beef with him. I ain't trying to. Nah, we cool. My thing is this. Personally, I always looked at Umar as a Pan-African activist, like a black activist,
Well, that's just a mistake right there. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom past that. I don't know what the fuck.
Yes, she's very ignorant. But I think so. The thing is, we have bandwagons, right? We have teams. Let's put it this way: Black America is like a team. South Africa is like a team. Nigeria is like a team. If one person says, that's comes up, makes that video, they get in that plate, everybody's rooting for their home team.
But I personally believe that this is you guys' responsibility. If you can't be a Pan-African wanting unity for everybody, but when the fire starts happening, you guys are nowhere to be in the forefront. That's why I say you're the first person I haven't seen, which I commend you a lot. And I think that you should actually start talking on this particular situation. Where are the Pan-Africans? It's diabolical.
So the thing is, right? I think the Zulu parade can work if they incorporate elements of the actual Zulu culture.
I think they should just take it out and move on.
Bullshit.
So
what the fuck is what? Why should 100-year tradition move on because a few little kids on TikTok got mad? If you don't get the fuck up out of here, shut up.
All together.
Right. You know what I think should happen? I think should happen? They should have a section in the parade to honor South Africa's traditions, but not change necessarily the 100 years of traditions that they had, under this parade, but yeah, okay, you guys got an issue with it, cool. How about you guys come and dago and join in the parade and represent it properly on, within the parade. It's a parade.
It's a parade. It's fun.
It's a parade. In America, parades have multiple different daggone.
Like happy, having a parade, dancing. That honey, they know how to rain on the goddamn parade, don't they? Goddamn.
Yeah.
Raining on the fucking parade. Can't even have a parade.
He even have a
Yeah.
daggone parade, man.
He didn't have a fucking parade because niggas is bad. So they said that the South Africans are like the Karens of Africa.
And what that was, I know in 2006, the actual Zulus went over there and had a party with them as well. They celebrated and they had a great time. I've seen the footage and it's amazing. But the fact that this hostility is happening and no one from the Zulus had actually jumped up and said, hold on, this is a misunderstanding. This is not what it is. It doesn't look, I know it looks crazy, but that's not what's going on. It's all mixed up.
Well, you have
Mardi Gras is one of the oldest. You're familiar with Mardi Gras, right? Yeah, it's one of the oldest, most established, one of the most prevalent festivals or parades in the world right now, especially in American culture, Louisiana specific. So for them to even have that, I know this is no big to them, but I didn't even know that there was a Zulu parade and that particular thing. And for them to even have that, that's what I'm saying. If they even have that opportunity to be in Mardi Gras, crazy. But I don't know the situation. I didn't go and do the research on what was the Zulu parade part. I didn't do all that, and none of them did. So I think it's just a big misunderstanding from what I hear.
I think so.
Have you watched it? Have you seen it? Then you won't work.
I did see it. I think so. What I'll say is, I think
didn't dive in deep on it. I'm gonna let you know I didn't dive in deep on it because it looks one way from a couple angles and clips, but then when they explained it to me, like the people who come here, it's like, nah, it was just a mixture of people that was in the Mardi Gras parade that was on the Zulu plate. Like that's not the same thing. They got mixed up. You know what I mean? Like So
I think the main contention here that offended South Africans was the blackface. Because the Zulu name is a product, is a brand name itself, right? We could go back into hip hop.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. Africa
Notice they have no problems with Africa Bambaataa.
That's what I said.
But the content was different.
But the problem is when I spoke to people from New Orleans and I did a little bit of research on it, it wasn't that's not blackface. They didn't have masks back then, so they used paint to show us, you know. And secondly, those are people that were actually from the Mardi Gras parade, not the Zulu parade. They just happened to be on that stage in the picture together and made a diabolical situation. It looked crazy. So that's a Mardi Gras thing, and it just happened to be, you know what I mean? That's what I heard. Like that's what I've done the research on that so far. I guess that's a big misunderstanding.
I do agree it's a big misunderstanding. I feel like, and this is where I said I think.
All right, so where are the people? So why don't you interview more people from the Mardi Gras to explain that?
Yeah, and ask, you know, and what made the name Zulu? What when did the history of the name Zulu become attached to the parade? What was the thinking behind it? You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make any sense for people to get mad about something that I think, if anything, is African Americans trying to honor their African heritage.
Pretty much. And
you know, a lot of us didn't have, you know, connections to the mainland. And so 100 years ago, you know, saying what they culturally thought about what Africa was often fed to them by Europeans. And so we expressed our cultural ideas and practices and named it something to honor Zulu Nation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The Zulus. It's not freaking disrespectful. Not disrespectful at all. So if anything, they should join in the parade. How about that?
But now we all know about this whole Zulu parade in New Orleans thing. By the time it crossed on my radar, which is
all of these white folks talking about, they loving this. They loving our
Wahala don't bust. You guys, my people, wahala they shell for the street of social media, and you know now your girl has to bring the J to you guys. Now, so what did they happen? Aibo. My Aibo people are having it heated with Black America.
First of all, she's not even South Africa. She's speaking like Yoruba.
Right. Where she get the wig from?
Right. And too much makeup.
Yeah.
So that is a real Zulu parade.
I want to show you guys also what the New Orleans Zulu parade looks like.
You were about me. You don't fuck with me. I won't fuck with you.
Why are they playing that song? That's crazy.
No
See, that's bullshit. But this is the parade, the Zulu parade.
To what people thought the both bars. It's plenty. We're going to listen to the both bars that was transferring right there. And I'll see you guys right at the end.
Why are Americans so woefully ignorant? Not really, honestly, actually, no. Let me pause the blacklist so I can really get into this. Okay, so a video gets released of some Zulu Day cultural event of sorts, or march or parade or something. I think it was in New Orleans or Philadelphia, I don't know, something like that. And obviously they are adorned in what they perceive to be Zulu regalia. And as soon as I saw that video, I was like, Zulu parade? I was like, what the hell are they wearing? Because personally, my entire life, hadn't been born into two Zulu parents, having been born in KwaZulu Natal. So then obviously the South Africans are now in the comments trying to educate the Americans about the fact that this is not a correct representation of the Zulu culture, right? Because even at some points, I even started thinking to myself, okay, like maybe I'm a different kind of a Zulu and America has its own version of Zulu. But that isn't the point. The point is the fact that through us trying to educate them of the fact that this is a complete misrepresentation, it's actually giving cultural appropriation. But okay, that's another story for another day. They are up in arms telling us about we are in fact the ones that are wrong. And I'm like, how? Am I going to go now to Japan and tell Japanese people how to make sushi? Am I going to go to Australia and tell a kangaroo how to be a kangaroo? On what authority? And like, the thing is, Google is free. So now when you Google Zulu culture and you see the pictures there in Google and you see what mess was happening there in New Orleans, like what goes through your head, if anything at all?
Man, first of all, y'all are too young to understand it. And y'all need to like do some research. That shit is ridiculous. And it's so egotistical. And you see how much I had so many words, whatever the hell you said. Like, bro, do some research. You know what I'm saying? And they're so egotistical.
So happy Easter Sunday. I've definitely had one too many of those white Easter eggs. I'm gonna go get more now anyway.
We had guns and bazookas. Remember the following. Judging by the way that you speak and your demeanor, I'm going to assume you're a member of the LGBTQI plus community. Your president is signing into legislature laws that are going to strip you of your rights. And you can't do shit about it. The face of prison reform in your country is an Armenian woman whose claim to fame was a sex tape. Kim Kardashian made her way into the Oval Office to sign laws into place that will get your brothers out of prison because you don't have the power to do it. Your fellow Americans are mad that we currently have a white Miss South Africa. Caitlyn Jenner was awarded Glamour's Woman of the Year when she hadn't even been a woman for a year. Referring to yourselves as African Americans, but you have no clue what part of Africa you even come from. Yeah, you're so educated. At least the fight for land in South Africa still continues, and some of us have been successful in getting our land back 400 years post-slavery. Where are your reparations?
Where's yours?
Land
Where's
of
yours?
the brave. It's
Where's
the youth.
yours?
Yes, born.
You still can't even daggone nationalize your resources if it wasn't for us over here banging out for y'all.
You understand what I'm
be
saying?
out of your freaking monkey ass mind. No disrespect, man. I'm not trying to make a pun. No pun intended.
Now you see what I'm saying? How stupid this
over there dancing to house music and freaking DeVito and all of these niggas freaking making money and driving around in freaking daggone Benz trying to look like us.
You understand what I'm saying? Here we go.
Divide and conquer. I'm actually kind of disappointed to see the behavior of South Africa, but I'm not surprised. The argument that y'all are arguing over is old. Black Americans and Africans have been arguing and fighting for decades. Now, New Orleans and South Africa actually had a good relationship, or maybe still do have a good relationship. Right now, we just don't like each other. And that's okay, because we don't always have to like each other. As long as we have a mutual respect. Now, y'all done took this Zulu thing to a whole nother level. Now y'all directing it to slavery in America, and y'all making fun of it. Well, I just want to let y'all know that that's what makes us resilient. You making fun of that, but we are the most evolved Black people in this world. Let's start there. In 1881, Booker T. Washington opened up a Black college called Tuskegee College. One of the most powerful, complex, and truths about history is that Black Americans were legally free before African nations gained their independence. Black Americans were free in 1865. Africa didn't gain their independence until 1950. So understand, we have a story to tell here in America. And slavery
Some of
is
them
what
didn't
makes
get no
us
freedom until the
resilient.
1990s.
Strong and very educated Black community. Now in New Orleans, we don't want no beef with y'all. And that parade that y'all making a big deal over is here to stay. Because what our people went through and the history behind that parade is also historical for our culture here in America. The Zulu parade not only represents Zulu in Africa. In New Orleans, we are also native to this country. That parade also represents Black natives that was already here in this country. We was taught here in America to love y'all, not hate y'all. Y'all don't like us. The people in New Orleans has been in America 300 years before slavery.
Wow.
And that's facts. You could look that shit up. New Orleans people's culture does not start during slavery, baby, considering we was here 300 years before slavery. Now, if y'all want to come to the city of New Orleans and learn about our culture, come to New Orleans and check us out. We do more than just Mardi Gras, baby. We have museums. We tell our story. Come there and learn about it. But that Zulu parade is happening. I stand behind my people because I know my own history. A lot of people don't know our history, but us. But if you come to New Orleans and your objective is to learn about us and not just party on Bourbon Street, because that's not what we about. That's the French culture, actually. But if you really come to New Orleans and you want to know about us, we have culture. Baby, we have culture. We was here in this country already. And if you want to know more about us, come see about us. Come to New Orleans. Come learn. Instead of posting these nasty ass videos and mocking slavery, which has nothing to do with the Zulu parade. At the end of the day, we having it. And that's on period.
How can they even mock slavery, though?
So South Africans are beefing with Black Americans now?
How can they even mock slavery when they over there freaking daggone carrying white folks' luggage and white women, old white women going over there freaking daggone marrying young black men so they can get a green card? How you gonna mock slavery? Y'all were slaves in your own land. Apartheid was there all the way up until the 90s. That don't make no sense. You can't mock slavery when y'all were slaves in your own land. Couldn't even daggone freaking benefit off of your own natural resources. Y'all over there digging mines for gold and minerals and all of that money going to Europe, and y'all still poor. Who's the slave? Y'all ain't no less slaves than we were. That's crazy.
They not like us. 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 You think that they gon' let you disrespect Pops, nigga? I think that Oprah show gon' be.
Oh, hell nah. My map done grew out.
See, this is why I don't have a TikTok. I get pissed off enough on Facebook. I don't need to add nothing else. No more fuel to the fire. No, I'm good. Y'all can keep TikTok. You there, Genesis?
No, I said I'm too old. I'm too old.
I couldn't hear. I think you was muted.
I'm too old. I said, man, listen. I've been trying to get on this show because I want to cuss all their ass out. Like, what the hell?
I love my African people. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
Man. Love my African people. Y'all ain't gonna talk down about us. We was over here building White Houses.
We control the sun at any time.
Flying bomber planes before y'all had planes.
Sun off. Sun on. Sun off. Sun on.
You're going to tell Black people that live in the United States how to celebrate their culture.
I'm sorry, but didn't you tell Tyler that she couldn't call herself colored, even though that's like South African culture? I don't know, but go off. I want to hear you out.
Okay, so it says African Zulu. You know that majority of black people ancestors came from Africa. So yeah, it's probably a traditional thing that's been brought down from generation to generation.
Okay. I think I see what you're trying to do here. But the thing is, you see, if you didn't fail geography and if you didn't fail history, you would find that South Africa is south of Africa, but the transatlantic slave trade took part in the West mainly. But what
the hell does it matter to you? What? Because it's blackface? We black? You got blackface?
Yeah. Okay.
Make it make sense. Y'all try anything for a race war.
Pause.
I feel so sad.
That is the stupidest argument ever because the same British fucking daggone was the ones who were going up into South Africa. Right? You had Africans moving, you had tribes that the Igbos and Bantus go all the way from South Africa up to North and even in west parts of West.
Bantu tribe, right? Bantu, right?
Come on, you're talking about a large landmass that people could travel back and forth. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can go freaking that. That's why there's diversity in Africa. Everybody wasn't daggone landlocked and breeding amongst themselves. They were mixing in with other tribes.
Mixy.
Some of the black they're taking the bait. But
wait, but you said something now.
I literally spent 3 whole days touching my thumb. I'm tired.
3 days. 3 days. 3 days.
When she talking shit, got a bonnet on. You know you got that shit from us.
You know Jesus died on the cross and resurrected in 3 days.
I just want to talk about it a little bit to let y'all know. Y'all South Africans know.
Why did she say Jesus? Oh my God. Man, listen. The ignorance is so fucking ridiculous. I gotta pass that. I can't even.
Episode of Crystal preparing you.
Let's get my blood pressure.
You understand what I'm saying? This shit is.
No, I'm not gonna say. I can't sit here and watch all of that. I'm sorry.
I'm about to cut it. I'm about to stop it because that's getting me pissed off too. I'm gonna just say this.
My blood pressure.
It's got my blood pressure going. Your blood pressure going. I just want to show it, because I was like, man, people don't realize how stupid this shit is.
It is really retarded.
All the young kids doing this, and they not trying to understand nothing. And as much as you try to explain it to them, they just like, I just don't. Okay, well, honey, I don't know how to explain it to you, ma'am, sir. So fuck it, you know. Texas Bim says, hell, they tried to help that girl out from making a fool of herself in America. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Oh man.
Anybody from New Orleans here? I wish somebody would from New Orleans come and explain this.
Right.
And tell them what it is. I wish there was, because I
need somebody to break it down. Yep.
Break it down. Somebody break it down for us. Because I'm like, I just know that really has been existing for since 109, and that they weren't allowed to be in the regular Mardi Gras. The black people weren't. And so they made their own parade. And they created a whole thing called the Zulu Social Club. And then they would parade down a certain street because they couldn't parade down Canal. And so they made their own parade. Just like we do the same thing with the Greeks. We couldn't join the white Greek club, so we made our own Greek club. Omega Psi Phi Kappa Alpha Psi, whatever the hell, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see the Greeks you can't be using our Greek. We don't be stepping. You know what I'm saying? But you got the Africans over here. Oh my God.
I'd be mad when black people be in daggone the Irish Day parade, man. What the hell y'all niggas doing? Y'all in the wrong parade, yo. And they all over there with the green and the big old hats and stuff and the freaking daggone.
Hey, listen, I'm part Scandinavian.
You know, I got Portuguese and Spain in me, but that's probably the blacks that were over there in the 14th century.
I don't exactly know why. My shit say Scandinavian. I don't even know. I don't know whether I should be doing some kind of
Nah, you know, I mean,
doing the river dance and
right. I got Native American blood on my grandmother's side. We used to go to the powwows and stuff. Shinnecock Indian, Shinnecock Nation. You know what I'm saying? We enjoyed that, every year. And we have, the African side. My father's side was very much into the African Ife, Ile, Lukumi culture. My grandfather, he's a Christian, you know what I'm saying? And I listen, we have an amalgamation of cultural experience and education at that. And you know, from a perspective of being a part of the Pan-African movement, the Ethiopian World Federation, you know what I'm saying? All I see is division happening right now. And
does this mean I'm a cracker? Does that mean I'm a cracker? I'm
no,
like,
you got Scandinavian, and you got to remember this too. You know, a lot of Scandinavian. Play a flute. I think a lot of Scandinavians got dark skin too. It don't mean nothing. I got like 22% European in me. You know what I'm saying? 60-something% African, West African, and I think 12% North African. You know what I mean? Portuguese, Spain. I got Native American. I got 12%, I think, Native American from my grandmother's side. You know what I mean?
I don't know what the hell
part is West African. The larger part is West African.
All these crackers over here, like, look at this.
You
I don't
know?
know. They don't even know where I came from. I'm like, dude, where did it start
Right.
from?
Right.
But I don't see no United States though. I see Nigeria, Ethiopia, Congo, Egypt, India, Japan.
Mhm.
I'm like, how did all this happen? What were they doing? They were
Right.
doing too much over here.
Right.
They were screwing Japanese people, Indian people.
I had a little Chinese too. I got like a 0.2% Chinese. I was happy about that. I was like, see,
my ancestor was getting it in with everybody.
Kung Negro was coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Getting it in.
Apparently, a lot of women loved us.
Listen, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I saw like a little bit of Mongolian, like little Chinese, whatever, like very
That's
straight.
true. That's true, Jeremiah. Yeah. Jeremiah.
Give me some clogs and start doing the damn river dance.
That's where they get that term Black Irish from. Yep, you're right.
River dance up in his beat.
Exactly.
That's probably why the sinners had that the people dancing and stuff like that. They already knew. Like, you know, you Scandinavian.
My man's profile pic is killing me right now. Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Northern DNA.
We gotta start extending the.
Oh, okay. So
brothers
Scandinavian is black.
Scandinavians have a lot of black.
Danish.
Yeah, there's a lot of dark
Scandinavian is not Danish. Is the Scandinavian Danish the same thing? I don't know.
A lot of dark skinned people who were in and especially like in your Asian region. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know, child. I don't even. I think it was all over. They were just.
You gotta remember this: white skin is only 8,000 years old. Only 8,000 years for blonde hair, blue-eyed, and pale skin. 8,000 years old compared to how many thousands of years of African and you know what I'm saying and human history. So that means that 90% of the world for thousands of years, for the majority of human existence on this planet, were all dark, swarthy, black-skinned people with varying shades of dark skin. Okay. So we got to stop, you know what I'm saying, this foolishness. But the same way they keep them divided against themselves, you know what I'm saying, and destabilizing Africa with different tribes and different political groups. Look at Ethiopia and all of the different political groups that keep on fighting amongst themselves for power over there. They keep them destabilized so that while we're fighting each other, they can still benefit off of the natural resources. And primarily, human beings are also a natural resource as well. So being able to keep us divided allows them to exploit us. And y'all Negroes are still allowing it. Now y'all going to let that same exploitation and divisive divide and conquer tactic divide you against your African American brothers here.
We need to like come together. Fuck all that.
That's a fact.
Literally and figuratively.
Facts. It wouldn't take us, you know, it wouldn't take us that long to be fully integrated back into African society.
Get our roots back. Come on,
You know
all
what
this.
I'm saying? It wouldn't take us that long. You know what I mean? After a while, once Negroes learned the language, you wouldn't even be able to tell whether we were Ghanaian or not.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We weren't born with Nike.
And listen, I just wanted to show the psyop. So that when you see it, you don't get pissed off about it, and just like be like, it's a psyop. Like, I mean, even like the whole Tariq Nasheed thing.
Yep.
Much love to Tariq Nasheed. That's a psyop.
It's a psyop. I said that when you asked me about that.
Psychological operation.
I said that FBA stuff is just dividing us. Certainly, we are African Americans. You know,
how you gonna call somebody a tether, bro? That sounds too much like a nigger.
That sounds moist.
Tether, nigger, like it's
I
like
want to tether. I want to tether myself. You so bourgeois Negro.
you're a tether. You know what
Tether.
I'm saying? That's crazy.
You know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's
But hold on, you don't even know if you even have like Caribbean in your like back.
You want to tether? I want to tether
How
myself.
you gonna call somebody a tether, bro?
This freaking
Crazy.
ass
Tethering
term.
off of our culture.
Tether.
Well, you was eating that bush meat. You're you're eating like what's it called? Eating mud pies or whatever he be saying. Now he's
That's
just
what he
funny.
said. He's on that
Now,
stupid
you just
stuff.
want to laugh and just because he be cussing people out and it's funny. That's funny too, but you know, at the same time, that shit ain't funny because it's like, bro, he's kind of like getting people subconsciously like programmed into it racism against their own.
Yeah, and we see it too with the One West camp. We see that, and the Judah Nasties. You know what I'm saying? And come on, B. Like you got a lot of ops right now. Just trying to.
Don't call each other tethers. He had a song called Musty Tether. Musty Tether.
No.
The
hell is a tether? It's a freaking stupid word.
Well, not all kinfolk and skinfolk is all kinfolk.
That's true. That's
that
true.
Don't mean you're
That's
right
true.
about that.
That is very true. But you're not going to divide us against the continent. You can't divide us against the whole continent, yo. You know,
because when they start to
you're gonna isolate us here, and when we were dealing with racism and bigotry, white supremacy here, we're gonna be we now we're tethered with these other Negroes. No, not these other Negroes.
The fuck?
These Negroes is fruity, man. And tether myself to this Negro from Africa.
Please stop making that voice.
I know but that's the way Tariq Nasheed talks.
Oh yeah, he be like,
That nigga, you know what I'm saying? That nigga should two snaps in a circle behind every sentence.
Man, listen, y'all. It's almost like 2 hours in, and I just want y'all to go ahead, go and start arguing with it. If there's any Pan-Africanist, please oblige our young brother, because we don't need to be having this divide.
Right. Not right now.
I'm gonna be a Pan-African. I don't.
Right now, Africa's looking real good. You know what I'm saying? African Americans, we looking real good. We need to be on, you know what I'm saying, building infrastructure. We need to be building.
And there's some ignorant ass shit going on. There's some ignorant shit going on over there.
Right.
Man, I got this one video where the girl was talking about something about Ghana, about how she don't even bump Ghana and this, that, the other, and I gotta keep
something about that. Was that on your channel? You had the thing with Ghana and some people saying that that they were being exploited as African Americans over there. They were charging them like 3 times the price because they assume that all African Americans got money or something like that over there when they get over there. Was it your channel or another channel?
That was probably mine.
Yeah, I saw something.
You know, I be showing all kind of bullshit on my channel about some crazy stuff, but. You know, we can't just keep letting that, just make it all, always just negative about Africa.
Right.
I want to find that one thing.
I just posted since they deporting citizens. I told them, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you can deport me and my son. Tanzania, Ghana, Africa, South Africa, you know what I'm saying, are all preferable. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know. You know what I mean? On the New York Minute.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's beautiful over there, shit. So
word up, you know what I'm saying?
I want to find that this one video where this girl was just going in on, I don't want to go take something about Ghana, and she was just going in on Ghana. Sister, a woman talking bad about Ghana. Let me see if I can find her. Here it is. I found it. That's how bad this shit is. It's gotten so bad. You can find that shit. So the hate for Africa is so fucking easy. I'm about to show it to y'all. And this is gonna be my last video. We're gonna end it right here. But this is how bad it's getting. Shouts out to Hype News and this, that, the other. Let's go.
For Hype Plus News, I'm John Abba. Even before Donald Trump became the 47th president of the United States, there were discussions among many regarding the need to move to another country. We've heard stories like Ellen DeGeneres and her wife moving to the UK, with the most recent presidential election being their motivation. Now, Rosie O'Donnell was another who moved to Ireland with her child, feeling it was safest and the bestest thing for her to do. Although moving to another country benefited these two celebrities, O'Donnell would say that moving to another country isn't easy. That appears to be the experience for some, including a Black woman who moved to Ghana to escape racism, but now appears to be regretting that decision. On social media site X, the account National Conservative would share a story involving a Black woman who moved to Africa, but has now decided to move back because her stay was not as what she imagined.
But y'all, I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scam, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snack, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down? The bullshit animals, it's scorpions outside the house, it's big ass spiders, it's big ass lizards. Colorful lizards you ain't never seen before, all in the fucking room with you, sleeping with you, all the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich, so they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below, because for me, I'm ready to go. And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be. And I'm going to go out to Africa and make shit happen. No, I don't want to. I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Daddy, electricity. And the only time our electricity get cut off is when we don't pay the bill. And we got it so good now, we got prepaid electricity. So if we forget to pay the bill, we put some money on that prepaid thing and it comes right back on in 2 minutes, in less than 2 minutes. This shit right here didn't come on for 14 hours yesterday. I can't deal. I love the people. Don't get me wrong, when I'm outside, I'm having fun. I love people. But when I come back to reality, when you come back home, home is where the heart is, right? When you come back home, you're supposed to feel comfortable, you're supposed to be happy. I'm not happy. To live in a house where you look outside and all you see is turkeys and ducks and chickens and sheep and old malnourished cows.
Throughout the video, she would complain about the differences between the two countries, describing all the problems she's had, including the invasion of animals and other bugs, the natives attempting to scam her, lack of quality food and electricity. She would plead anyone watching to leave a comment explaining how Americans have been able to live in Africa happily, because she's ready to go and open up her businesses back in the United States. Now, as the videos have gained steam online, others would offer their perspectives, with some Black social media users wondering what part of Ghana she moved to. Some Black Americans have visited and continue to visit Ghana, as it remains one of the most developed countries in the continent, particularly during Afrofuture, a major festival showcasing African culture, music, art, and fashion, usually taking place between Christmas and New Year's. Several notable American figures like Dave Chappelle, Chance the Rapper, Chloe Bailey, and more have all gone on and said great things about Ghana. One social media user would say, "There's racism everywhere on our planet, whether outwardly shown or not. Don't move to another continent just for that reason alone." Another social media user would take a different approach and advise to apply firsthand research as opposed to moving to another continent impulsively. They said, "I think it's an amazing idea for Black Americans to explore alternative places to reside, especially Africa. But prior to moving, I think that we should visit the country more than one time and stay for an extended period to get a feel of the environment, government, and economy." Now, successfully moving to another country requires a lot of planning, some of which includes researching the destination and its visa requirements, the cost of living, language, and local culture. From the woman's video, it looks as though she didn't do too much research on Ghana before moving, as the culture shock appears to be significant for her. So what do you guys think about this woman?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was just going in. So you can't go to another country and expect it to be the infrastructure to be the same as America.
Right.
So that's crazy. You mad because you seeing goats and chickens and stuff outside.
Places like that in America.
Bro, don't go to Jamaica. You'll be really
go
mad.
down south or something to them country roads and stuff and think that you ain't going. You know what I mean? See some chickens and some goats. And stuff. You know what I mean?
Travel around the world. Enjoy.
I'm a city person, so I couldn't move to a country area here in the Americas and be comfortable. You know, I would get home. I got homesick when I was in South Carolina for 9 years. I got homesick. You know what I'm saying? For New York, it wasn't enough hustle and bustle for me. Everything was so far apart, and there were no subways and friggin', you know what I'm saying?
Walk everywhere.
My ass right back to New York. But if I'm gonna go to Africa, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose, is to go there to help develop. You know what I mean? You're not going over there thinking that you're gonna move to a place where it's just as
everything is all together. Come on now,
it's not all developed over there, and that's the thing too.
Ready to like pitch in and figure out how you can like make.
And we gotta remind our African brothers and sisters that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, stop acting like we're the ones who built the infrastructures here. You know what I'm saying? The roads and, you know what I'm saying, electricity and all of that stuff. We're the ones who came up with all of that stuff. So don't diss us. You know what I'm saying? And y'all still, you know, 100 years behind in that area.
But we got niggas like that going over there crying. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Come on now. You
don't go over there and start crying.
Start crying.
That whole video was just insane. Like, what?
Right. So I won't go back to my masters.
Listen, I don't like them. There's too many spiders.
I'd rather deal with white folk and Karens.
Outside, it was a giraffe.
I'd rather get robbed by the tax man and then
open up my dental office back in America, so I don't have to deal with all this stuff. Sometimes electricity be off till 14 hours when I don't pay my bill. Your fucking bill, bitch. So anyway, I just had to come up here because it was irritating.
I appreciate that, because I was dealing with something too, and when you popped on, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pop in real quick.
And I thank you, because you helped me to get through this, because I was like, man, I didn't even know where I was gonna go with it. Thank you so much.
Doubt.
Much love to the chat. Shouts out to Urius Moore L. Shouts out to Mr. Cat, Texas Bama, Scam Chan, everybody that's been just here chilling with us while we just be bitching about some stuff. Shouts out everybody. Peace. Much love.
Trying to get it right. Transition. Changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission. Trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, ooh. Turn a mission. I'm on a mission. On a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transition in my life. On a mission. On a mission.